All right, and we are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to our first episode, technically second episode of Thoughtful Thoughts. Um, we're just gonna basically talk about some philosophical esque questions and kind of, kind of just give our ideas and see what happens. So this is Kyle for everybody that knows Kyle, or doesn't know
Yes,
Kyle.
sir. Going by the
Um,
artist name there.
oh, I'm sorry, man. I
No,
wasn't
no,
even
no.
paying
You call
attention
me
to that.
Kyle. You
All
call me
right,
Kyle. I just want to make
conscience.
sure people knew why when they see a different name when you say Kyle and go, well, yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
who's conscience?
in
All
case they
right.
go, is that how you spell Kyle?
Well, all right. So let's just get right into it, huh? Um,
Sure.
so let's just go right into the first question. So, can you ever honestly know another person?
I actually there's a Daniel Tosh joke I like a lot where he said every time I'm watching like one of those videos of this serial killer did that, and then the neighbors find out, they always go, oh, I would have never expected that from him. He was a great guy, and this and that. And then he just goes, really? You would have never expected it? Like it wasn't possible? Like you can never really know anyone. So you trust your neighbor that much to go, there's no way he could have done that. The guy that I know, it's like, of course, everyone has like a hidden side to themselves. Not everyone, but a lot of people do, which makes it seem like
Yeah,
everyone does.
right. Yeah, that's an interesting question because you would like to believe that there's honest people and that there's people are gonna honest people are gonna give you most of their baggage, but there's always that possibility. Maybe there's something on the side that that obviously they wouldn't want anybody to know about. Um, but it's really basically what I'm trying to say is that it's basically up to them to like to give what they want to give. So do you really know, like you said, do you really know everything about a person? It's what that person gives out to the world. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not even sure, honestly, ever know anything. Like there's a philosophical theory out there that you can't know anything except that you're experiencing. So you can't know that what you're experiencing is true. All you can know is that you are experiencing something. You're having things happen. You can't tell yourself, you know, am I in some crazy scientist's lab, like under a spell or something like that, even a wizard, like, I don't know. You can never tell anything. And so that logic in mind, I've kind of always taken that to be, man, if I learned that my own, as Daniel Tosh said in his joke, if I learned my own mom killed kids her whole life, I'd go, yeah, there were some times she was kind of mean.
Yeah.
Remember that one she yelled at me in the store.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always that one thing, like, just even for yourself, like, there's always that one thing that you don't really, even if, like, the smallest thing, if it's, let's just say, like, watching the dirty movies or something like that, you definitely don't want your parents to know that. So, you're gonna hide that. Or, maybe you like to read communist documents or something like that.
Manifesto.
Yeah, yeah, and you strongly believe that, oh, it could possibly be something, and it's something you want to just keep off to the side. But it's, I don't know, maybe that could be something that could escalate into something bigger, Hitler. But
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
well, that was fascism. But anyways, uh, but yeah,
Let's be
like
honest, man.
you
I've known a
just.
lot of people who have shaved their mustache when shaving their face into a little Hitler mustache just to know what it
Oh,
looks like.
everybody's tried it at least once, dude. Heck yeah.
I was just curious what it might
I
look
call
like.
it I called it the Charlie Chaplin though. I didn't say
Yes,
what
yes.
it.
There's actually a Whitest Kids You Know skit about that where they had Adolf Hitler and Charlie Chaplin in like World War II together. And so when the American soldiers rush in, they're like, "Oh, we found Hitler's bunker," you know? They come and they aim at him and he goes, "Oh, yeah, no, not me." Then he starts like acting out like Charlie Chaplin. They're like, "Wait a second. That's not Hitler. It's Charlie Chaplin." That was the whole premise of it.
Hmm.
I found that
Interesting.
one interesting. Yeah.
Oh yeah. um. All right. Let's jump on to another one here.
Sure.
If one existed apart from other humans, would they still value goodness?
Mark, you first this time?
Now, this kind of reminds me of I can't remember what the movie's called, but it has uh what's her name? The one that played Captain Marvel. Brie
Larson?
Brie Larson.
Yes.
She's in a movie where she's taken basically she's taken hostage by some guy just like in the neighborhood, and she's put in like this shack, and the guy impregnates her, and then she has this kid, and like for let's just say I think it was like 9 or 10 years they were just living in this shack, and
Okay, in a shack. I saw one
yeah.
where they had the kid be raised in like a cellar locked off. That was pretty similar, but I'm sorry.
Okay.
Continue.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, this was a shack. So the uh the kid, all he knows is what is given to him. So he's got like maybe like PBS television, like just whatever cartoons are on there, and like maybe some books, that show the outside world.
That would be
So
a rough upbringing, man. To just have
yeah.
that.
So I guess okay. So if they existed apart from other humans, would they still value goodness? I would have to say that yes, because it's just from just that movie, and then other things that you've heard about, like those like occults, where the guy traps people in like they're in like a cellar or something like that, and then
Yeah.
they live. I don't know, maybe if I don't know if that's really like a good example, because I think those people have already seen the outside world before, but they're just
Yeah.
deprived of it for how many years. But they still they still strive to get out and go back to their families and stuff like that. So but for like a young kid like in that movie who's never seen the outside world, he's got these cartoons and stuff that kind of show him a happier side of life, I guess, and maybe he was kind of striving to see that. So finally, when he goes out into the world, right, when they escape, and he finally sees the natural light for the first time, he's like in awe. He's just like, whoa, like, and it's just all kind of like uh, all these emotions at once, and you could see
Ah.
he like doesn't know how to react. He's just like very shocked by it. Um,
Huh.
so yeah. But anyways, I'm keep going back and forth with my
No,
thoughts here,
no. It's
but
okay. They're
I th-
thoughtful thoughts.
yes, I think just from what I'm seeing in that movie, that it could be that people could still like strive and value what they would perceive as good.
That's what I'm wondering. Because like when they talk
Yeah.
about would they still value goodness? Now, like what are they talking about value goodness? Like moral goodness or all the things that are good in life, like the whole raindrops and kittens song from Sound of Music. Like are they
Hmm.
talking about goodness or are they talking about like moral goodness? Because if they're I feel like if they're talking about moral goodness, it's hard to know. Like they'd still I mean, without humans, they'd be essentially animals. So do animals value morality or do they just value survival?
Huh. Yeah. Yeah. Because well, I think for like a child, like if they've existed apart from others, and they've grown up, and what they've all that they know is what they've seen
Uh-huh.
just inside of their sheltered life. uh I would, I would think that through that like I guess you could say like the not the veil of ignorance, but the ignorance that they have, that there would be some things that they would kind of like like mindsets that they would develop that would be of like a positive mindset, like whether it would be like, oh, there's this ant crawling on the ground, so this kid, he has two different options, right? He could be like, oh, I want to just smash this ant, and then he could also be like, oh, no, I want to befriend this ant, now this ant is my friend,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't, maybe it would just depend on the person even.
Well, he also has a third option. If he's been down there a long time, he can just eat the thing.
Yeah, yeah, he could eat it exactly. Yeah, I wonder how ants taste.
They actually talk about it I don't know if they did it in Alone, but I think Bear Grylls was the one who said they taste like nutty or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
huh.
interesting.
Um, I've heard a couple of different things about insects.
Yeah.
Someone said someone said I think I saw this on Animal Planet. It was a guy that like would eat like roaches. He would eat cockroaches and stuff like that. So bigger
All right.
insects.
Yeah.
And I guess he compared it to like chicken,
Huh.
which is a weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really weird. I would not have
I don't
expected
know.
that. Oh, hey, by the way, I was also thinking, so you brought up a good point too. Like, they didn't say if one grew up away from other humans, would they still value goodness? It was if one existed apart. So you read it more accurately than I did. I was reading it like if they were born without humans. And
Oh,
there
okay.
there was actually a girl that was raised by wolves for the first 10 years of her life or something like
Hmm.
that. And her introduction to society is like an interesting read if you ever get a chance. It's good. It's,
I
it's a
think
good
I've
little story.
yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of that. She was like, what do they call that?
Feral.
Feral. Yeah, feral. Exactly. So she
Yeah.
would like when they first saw her, she was kind of like she was almost like growling at the people
Yeah,
that
because
had
that's
found her.
that's the language she knew was the
Yeah.
language of the dogs, and she could
Yep.
bark like exactly like a dog.
Really? Oh, I
Oh
didn't see
yeah,
that.
dude. Her bark was it was literally like a dog's. It was crazy.
Huh.
Because I mean, you know how babies always grow up. They say when you're a baby, first like I don't remember how many months. It's either 3 or 6. Um, you do every phoneme that exists, which means every sound, whatever vowel sound, consonant sound. We all do it as babies, but as we grow up with certain languages, we're learned to prefer ones and then drop the others. So now we no longer even make those noises, which is why when people try to replicate accents, they struggle so hard. British
Hmm.
accents and the like, like people who just don't have that phoneme, they go, yeah, I don't know how you're doing that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all
They
lost a baby babble.
they say that like even people that like if someone that was born, let's just say like in England, and he's lived there for a while, and then he would, let's say he moves to America. Over time, like he actually could possibly lose the accent that he had, the British accent. Like over time, just by being around other like Americans with a different accent. And actually, I've heard of people um, that had an accent, lost it, and then like couldn't really figure out how to
Couldn't
do
even
that accent
replicate it again.
anymore. Yeah.
That's so weird, man.
So yeah, that's interesting.
Actually,
That's like a it's almost like some kind of brain memory, or like a muscle memory that like
yeah,
maybe like you don't do it for a while and then you just kind of forget
completely
it.
lose it. Yeah, that's so weird though, because the brain like always seems kind of limitless,
Hmm.
until you find out it has a lot of limits.
Yeah.
It really does. But yeah, I do like that question though. If one existed apart from other humans, would they still value goodness?
Yeah.
Um, I think I've kind of exhausted every angle I have on it right now, though.
Same.
I'll read the next one.
Cool. You do it.
Are humans more important than other animals?
Hmm. I think that the uh, the human thing to say, right? Like
I
the
agree with where you're
moral
going.
the moral thing to say is that
Yeah.
yes, humans are 100% more important than animals.
But speaking on a purely philosophical level,
But speaking on a natural point of view, on a
yeah.
mother nature point of view, no,
So
because
from
it
depends
is
on the
the
perspective asking, right?
yes, it is the circle of life, or not? Yeah, it is the circle of life. Like
Yeah.
every animal has their own purpose, and humans, although we would like to believe otherwise, are animals,
Yeah.
and we are categorized as primates, which, for those that don't know, gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, they're all primates.
Yeah.
So even though we have kind of we've gone like above and beyond what Mother Nature intended for us, we are still we still lie in that category.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much my take on that.
I also think like I'll take it a little bit further, man.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
reason why I say no, we're not more important than other animals is because everything that we categorize is just made up. Like literally everything. If you think about it,
Mm,
the universe just is. That's all it is. Like there's no words for anything. Nothing's called anything. Nothing is separated, discriminated against, made for. It's literally just everything is. Whatever happens, happens.
yeah,
So if we all died off right now, the universe would continue on. Even if the whole Earth blew up, the universe would continue on.
right.
So no, we're not more important than other animals.
There you go.
It's
Um,
almost like nihilistic though, taking that approach, you know?
yeah, but it's kind of like it makes sense. It's not like it's the idea that we are more important is just it's just like a moral stance, in my opinion.
Yeah. To
That's
me
all it
it's
really
almost
is.
it's liberating to realize. Now this is going to sound like a sad statement, but in the grand scheme of things, nothing matters. That's
Hmm.
liberating because you can still value and have your fun and enjoy and grow live, you know. But if you feel stressed out, if you feel depressed, you just sit there and go, literally none of this matters.
Yeah.
Depressing.
No, no, it's like you said, it's liberating in a
Yeah,
way
I actually enjoy it.
because it's really what it is it's like it, it's it makes you feel like just let it go. Like nothing really matters. So why do we worry? You know,
Yeah,
I wake up in the morning, right? I get up at 4 o'clock simply because I have to go to work in the city, which starts at 6. So I wake up at 4, try to get out the door by 4:30. If I don't get out of the door by 4:30, I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm going to be late for work." You know? Then I'm at work, and I'm busting my ass, right? Or whatever. Maybe I'm not busting my ass that day. Maybe I said screw this. I'm going to take it easy today. Uh no, but either way, like we have all these things planned out, and it's like there's really not like we think there's an end goal, but there's really isn't. Like it's just a never ending process, and we just keep going, and it at the end of the day, right, or at the end of your life, none of it's really gonna matter because you're gone.
yeah.
I don't know if like that now that just sounds really depressing, to be honest with you, but that's the truth. You're done.
It's the reason why we say it like that though is to say, dude, don't waste your time stressing and being upset
Yeah.
when you're going. Look, you're gonna die. You
Dude,
better
your
accept
face
things
is
you can't
frozen right
change.
now.
Ah,
Your
dang
face
it. Okay.
it's been freezing, but I haven't said anything because I can still hear your audio. but
Okay.
it was just in like the most hilarious like still. Like, I don't know.
Can you
It
see me
just
now?
it threw me off. Yeah, I can see you now.
Okay. All right. So
There you go. It's frozen again, but
dang it. Oh well. What was I saying anyway?
oh, that nothing matters, but that it's
Oh yeah.
liberating because it's
Except the
like
things you cannot change is where I was going with it. Like
accept the
so.
things you can't change. Yeah.
So if the fact that we know we're gonna die is it's not depressing. It's only depressing if you afford it the definition of depressing. If you
Yeah.
go, oh, we're gonna die one day, it's real. It's not depressing. It's only depressing if you say it is. So since you know you're gonna die and your time is very limited, why waste your time stressing over things that don't matter and just beating yourself up all the time or beating others up all the time when you're gonna die, man?
Yeah. Yeah. When we should be I guess you could take that another step and say like we should all just be getting along. We
Yeah.
should all just be like we should just be trying to make our time here like comfortable, like be and not that you shouldn't have struggle, but like like you should it shouldn't have to be like like we make it something more for no reason. Just in your everyday life. It doesn't not like one thing in particular, but just like I said, just simply worrying and all that. Like it's just we
It's a
just got to
waste of
take
time.
just let it go, man. Just take it slow.
Yep.
Let things be the way that they are, and
But
keep on trucking.
easier said than done. The only important thing is keep on
Yes,
telling yourself it until you do it.
because of the outside pressures, the
Yeah.
outside pressures of the world
It's
that
it's hard to
make you
cope with. We're emotional creatures.
that force you into submission. I guess you could say.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is like I I feel like humans are very emotional creatures to where like if you're a person who doesn't react as much as other people, you're seen as emotionless because of the fact that we're such emotional creatures. It's like if
Hmm.
you're not reacting, you can't be having emotions. It's like
Hmm.
I don't know, man. Some people freak out inwardly while others freak out outwardly.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
one's healthier? I'd say outwardly because you actually experience, you actually express instead of keeping inside, you know?
Yeah. Like people like me, when you let things in, when you keep things in, eventually it's gonna come out, and then
Yeah.
what could have just been a healthy outburst is now a oh shit, why did I just say that to my brother, or why did I just why did I just why did I just get into an argument with that person.
Bro, prime example, me on
Yeah.
Rocket League.
Yeah, but
That's
you
one thing
know
I talk about with Megan. I'm like, I just don't get it. Sometimes I just get in these funks and I'm just like pissed. And I'm like, I don't take it out violently. I just like steam and I just keep cussing. I'm like, I don't even know what to do, man. But
yeah,
yeah,
that
it's
is true.
interesting.
It's a never ending you could say whatever you want about like the other players. It doesn't get any better. You don't feel better by saying, "Oh, Scrappy 627 is a jerk." Like why did he get that goal? Like those kind of outbreaks or those kind of outbursts, like they just kind of add to the fire.
Yeah. Yeah, they just make you more mad than
Yeah,
eventually you
and
literally
not just you,
steamroll.
like just
No.
anybody playing games like that.
I've
Like
watched,
that's
dude. I watch
I've
it.
done it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know.
I've seen it with you rarely because it's only happened to you once since I've been playing with you, once or twice. With
Yeah.
Tony, it happens maybe half the time it does with me, where like I'll just see him get carried away, but he'll calm down, and so will I. But like sometimes he'll be getting pissy, and I'm like, dude, I'm taking off the headphones for a second. I can't deal with this, or I'm gonna get mad. But yeah. So anyway, this next question.
Yeah.
It says, "Are some people more important than others?" I will say,
No.
even
Well,
taking
oh,
it,
go
let's
ahead.
take this one from a societal perspective, because, or else I can just
Yes.
answer it the same way as the last one, you know?
Right, right. So I guess if you look at it from a societal perspective, then yes, but only because of status.
Yeah. I would say in society that's how it stands, but the way that it is there are some people who are more important because they have more value, like a doctor versus, you know, you and me as musicians. I would rather
Yeah.
have the doctor than two of us. No offense, man. I love you, I love me. The
No,
doctor's
for
going to
sure.
save more lives, he's going to do more stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of goes to what I'm saying about your status.
Yeah,
Uh, because no, but no, yeah, I you took it to another level by saying that because yeah, no, I totally agree with that. A doctor, a teacher, even right. Like if it was like an apocalypse, right? You would
yeah,
definitely want to have some teachers,
yeah,
people that are knowledgeable, sort of in some kind of field of study.
yeah,
Um, like you said, doctors, uh, construction workers, right? To rebuild,
yeah. You need
structures or
general
yeah, yeah.
tradesmen.
Yep, yep, yep.
True. You
So
know who you don't need?
who?
Salesmen.
Aha.
Those are the guys that back, even in like biblical times, you read stories about like salesmen being like, oh, it was a, you know, it was a lawyer, oh, it was a salesman. Like
Yeah. Oh,
they're all
this
like
guy's in town.
snakes.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
The
this guy's just
tax
trying to
man.
make a penny.
Yeah, the tax man, right? Like
Yeah, yep, yep.
what was there was some biblical story about the tax man, and then he sees Jesus comes into town, and then like nobody really likes this guy, so they don't really give him like they don't give him like really any respect. They don't like let him see Jesus, so he climbs up the tree, and then Jesus
Wow.
sees him, and he's like, oh, you know, the tax man deserves respect too. Like basically is
Ah,
what it
okay.
came down to.
It'd been funnier if he was
Uh,
like, ah, this guy.
yeah. Um, man, I really want to find that story because that's actually I remember them telling us about that in school.
Yeah. I don't think I
Um,
know that one. I wonder if it was like, because I grew up Protestant. I mean, I haven't been, you know,
okay.
practicing
Well,
in a
it's
while.
it's a Bible.
Well,
What do you call
how
it?
many
It's in the
books?
Bible.
How many books does the Catholic Bible have? It's more than mine. Mine has 66.
Oh, okay. Dan, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't know.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know how many books there are.
Let's take it to Google.
Yeah.
Books are in the Catholic
In fact, I'm gonna
Bible.
be honest with you. I'm over here quoting scripture, and I don't even read the Bible. So,
No, no, dude,
hey, you
I
know
don't
that?
either.
No, but I want to let that be known because I'm definitely not a Bible thumper. But there are good stories in there.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, it's literally a book of morals. Even if you're not religious, like I said, I'm not. I still think it's good to have a book of morals. You know,
Yeah.
I think it does good for society to be able to read parables. They're literally parables. You know, 73 books in the Catholic Bible, so seven more books
Hmm.
than the Protestant.
I believe the what is that called? The Catholics go by the King James Bible, I believe, or
Yeah,
it's what they used to go by. Because there's so many different like because like the Mormons have their own, they even have their own
the Book of
like
Mormon.
like books and stuff like that. Yeah. So
Or is the Book of Mormon like a fiction story? Is
the
that
Book
like
of
their
Mormon
book?
is a fictional. Yeah. Well, I no, I think that's
It's like a movie or something, isn't it?
yeah, but
Okay.
they have like they have similar books as like Christian Bibles,
Uh huh.
but they also have like other ones that I guess because I guess so there's all these different scrolls, but like I guess some of like the newer ones that were found were never like technically I guess approved by like the
I've
other
actually heard about
organizations.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think the Mormons, uh, I'd
They
have to ask
adopt
my
some of
uncle
them.
more about that. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, they adopted some of those.
You know, there was. rumor a while back that Jesus had written a book, and people
Oh,
were
really?
wondering why it was excluded. Yeah,
Huh?
that's and I mean, of course, literally when it comes to history, I mean, I was born in '95. You were born in '94, right?
Yeah.
'94.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, I don't go back that far. I can't
Yeah.
guarantee any of this stuff in history. I tell
Right.
you what people have told me.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. We
So
are
when it
just the
comes down to it,
messengers.
exactly, yeah, we're the parrots repeating stories we've heard.
Well, let's
Uh,
let's hit another one.
all right,
So,
read it.
if a person has an accident and is no longer able to contribute to society, has their value as a person changed? Now, I guess if you're looking at it from what we were just talking about, right?
Yeah,
He is kind of he or she is kind of now um like they're basically just a burden on society
yeah,
if you
and
think about
that's
it that way, because if they can't if they can no longer contribute in the way that they were, well, now they're just kind of taking now and not giving back.
and you know what's funny is I feel like both of us understand that this is a premise to say, has their value as a person changed for real? No, of course not. I mean,
No,
they're
absolutely
they're
not.
going to be loved ones that still care about them as much as they did. Now, has
Hmm.
their value to society changed? That we'd be sugarcoating if we said no.
Right.
Has their
Right.
value as a
Absolutely.
person changed? No, not at all. It
No.
has not.
No.
It hasn't
They're
gone up
still
or
a
down.
brother. They're still a
Exactly.
brother. They're still a
Brother,
sister.
son,
Yeah.
daughter.
They're still a they're still a ticking being,
Yeah.
and that
Tickety
in its
game.
own that on its own is priceless.
I like that question though, because there are a lot of
It is a good
perspectives
question.
to like take on it. There are a lot of angles you can aim at that one at.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, because I guess you can also say I guess you can say that maybe their value maybe their value as a person is can change
you're right.
because
As their value as a
because
loved one.
they because they themselves could have possibly changed due to the accident.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't maybe they're not like this happy-go-lucky person that they were. Maybe they don't maybe they're not good in bed anymore, you know? Maybe maybe they don't maybe they were a good trash talker, and they always had the jokes, and now they're just like this
Maybe that's what the
neutral.
accident was all about.
Yeah, 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 right. I don't know. I'm just kind of saying random shit now. But basically what I'm
No,
trying
I
to say
agree.
is, yeah, maybe just as a person, maybe they're not the same.
Well, and another angle I was thinking about is if they've been in an accident and they're no longer able to contribute to society, the accident portion might make their value as a loved one go up because maybe someone who wasn't visiting them is like, oh, wow, that was a close call. And now I
Yeah.
need to go visit, you know,
Yep.
Kyle, who was just in a traumatic injury. He's alive, but I need to go see him. Like, wow, you know?
Mhm. Mhm. And then maybe like their situation, maybe that affects someone else even. And then they
Yeah.
say, "Oh man, like my loved one is in the hospital right now. I should really go see them."
See, and there's more
Yeah.
value there.
There's more
I feel like
value.
it all eventually balances to where the universe remains neutral. There's positives,
Exactly.
there's
It all
negatives.
works out. It all kind
Yeah,
of works itself out
it's that yin and yang, man.
maybe not neutral, but maybe it is.
Yin and yang, a
Maybe
balance.
eventually. Yep.
I called it neutral, trying to say balance, but I realized it still probably stays on like a sine wave because yin and yang is all about like the battling between the two
Yeah.
balances,
Yes.
which is
Which is
interesting.
also that's a very interesting topic. Maybe we'll save that for a part two. because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
definitely.
that's a topic on its own that you could talk about for
Well,
hours.
Hey, if we should do it whenever Zio's involved. He loves the topic
Zio needs
of
to
yin
get
and yang.
involved on this. Yes,
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely.
Um, so anyway, you want to get on to the next one here?
Let's get on to the next one.
All right.
Okay. Uh, what is the next one?
Should someone
Uh,
being ignorant
there you go.
be a valid excuse for their rudeness? Now, actually, you know what? When they say should someone being ignorant be a valid excuse for their rudeness, the definition of ignorant means they don't know something about a topic.
Hmm.
So they're trying to express that some people use that as an excuse to say, oh, that's why they're rude is because they don't know enough about it. However, just being willing to be rude in the first place is inexcusable.
Right.
So I do think being ignorant makes me understand more about why they're rude, but it doesn't make me go, oh, it's okay.
But you see, sometimes though, the the ignorance that they have, I feel like sometimes it makes them not aware that they're even being, rude or
Fair
hurting
enough.
someone.
Yeah.
So
So is it
yeah,
intentionally or not intentionally rude?
right.
So that's fair. I feel like when they say valid excuse, it makes it sound like intentionally rude. Now, it's a valid excuse if it's unintentionally. I think you're right. Because if they're not trying to be rude and they say, some sort of racist or anti Semitic remark, and you go, holy cow, like, what were you
Yeah.
going for there, dude?
I
And if
think
they
I
catch
think the
themselves and go, what?
reaction.
What happened?
Hmm.
So whatever
I
happens
think.
after will explain the answer.
I think the reaction of the person that is being given the rudeness or whatever. I think that needs to be that needs to change depending on that situation.
Yeah.
Not that it would. Obviously, if someone's really feels really strongly about something, and then someone comes off and you know triggers an emotion of that person. Obviously, like I said, if they feel strong about it, they're gonna react in a certain way.
Yeah.
Um, but for someone that is truly just ignorant because they don't know any better, I think that person should be given some sort of not yeah, I guess the benefit of the doubt and be corrected or try to be corrected. And obviously that might take some time.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily their ignorance doesn't necessarily mean that you should just kind of like throw them under the bus or throw them to the side. There should be some sort of um, correction,
Education.
some sort of education on the matter.
I
So
agree. I actually think this question makes me really like. I actually do think if you are offended by something and you can calmly, like, if you can keep yourself calm, the best course of action is to explain, hey, this is why this is offensive. Like, I don't know if you fully grasp, like what you're actually
yeah,
doing. So, maybe even drawing parallels to make them actually empathize and stuff like that. But I do think our duty as a human being is to try to make everyone as good as they can be, help out where you can. And you're going to go home and be fine by the end of this. This dude's eventually going to get killed if he keeps saying some stupid stuff, you know?
are are you
So your duty.
familiar? Yeah, but I'm sorry. Were you going to keep saying
No,
something? Okay.
no, no.
Are you familiar with uh the guy Daryl Davis? He was the he's a so he was a keyboard player for Chuck Berry.
Okay.
He was he was in I don't know if he was touring with Chuck Berry at the time, but he was in some bar somewhere in the South and he was playing a little gig. And this white man comes up to him. Daryl Davis is a black man, and this white man comes up to him and he's like, telling him basically, he's never seen a black man that could play rock and roll as good as him. And uh, basically, long story short, right, they're talking, and this guy ends up being a member of the KKK.
Oh, wow.
And so Daryl Davis takes that conversation that he had with with this man, which at that time, uh, that
Was he?
conversation was a
Do you
very
mind if I
pleasant
interrupt?
conversation. No, go ahead.
Yeah, was he the one who met up with that leader of the KKK eventually?
Yes,
Okay, I
yes,
know that part of the story, but I want to hear more about the
yeah.
background.
So that guy though, that first guy that he talked to, um, like he was very like I guess very shocked by the like how actually pleasant that conversation was. And I think that same guy, he actually ended up befriending as well. And that guy, I believe, kind of changed his mindset about you know uh, black people and just whatever the Klan is against.
Yeah,
But but yeah, so basically, what this guy ended up doing, like along with music, is he was befriending ignorance. He was befriending these KKK members and saying, "Hey, look, why do you hate me? How
yeah,
could you hate me without even actually knowing me?"
yeah.
It was kind of his take, and that was like when I saw that I saw like I believe it was on YouTube. I saw it, and I was like, wow, like
That's a
that makes a
strong
lot of
man.
sense. Yeah, and honestly, like I've done some thinking on that, and it's like it's really the only true way to counteract that.
Is love and
Like,
understanding.
because I mean, look at we see it now. We've seen it throughout time, like rioting and beating each other up doesn't do anything. If anything, that just fuels the hatred of both sides.
Feels the division.
Yes, and yeah, I think that needs to happen more. To be honest with you,
Oh
is
yeah,
is
oh
is
yeah.
more actual communication, and honestly, um, I don't. I'd like to quote what I'm about to say, but I really can't remember who actually said it. But if you're not if you're not being offended, like are you actually like like what are you doing like as far as conversation goes? Like
Yeah.
being
Are you
sometimes
actually
sometimes
challenging
you
yourself?
are you actually challenging yourself exactly? So I don't know. Maybe that's something to think about for everybody.
I
You know?
actually, I fully believe that if you don't challenge yourself, you can't grow. And if you don't let others challenge you, now the thing is, being challenged is difficult. And I mean, I admit there are times where there are a lot of times where I'm getting challenged on stuff that I've considered like core beliefs. Then you have to like sit there and try to get past your bull for a little bit, you know?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I mean, you have all these ingrained beliefs and they'll just jump in and start speaking over what the other person's saying. And you're like, why am I not trying to listen?
Yeah,
Because you have defense mechanisms, you know, you want to
because
hold on to what's true to you.
right, and maybe you do have a better stance on something, but that's
At
not to
least
say
try
you
it
shouldn't
out.
listen. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they have something to say that could strengthen your stance,
Yep.
or maybe your stance is bullshit, and then you should change it.
If you believe anything as 100% fact, you need to reconsider.
Yeah,
Because I don't think anything can be 100% factual. Like I said, I genuinely don't. I think like if I learned that everything we were taught in school was bull, you know, I'd sit there and go, holy crap! Like really? Like everything I've believed in that made sense logically is a facade, you know? Like I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't go, you know, like it would take a while to convince me. Still, I would be able to be convinced eventually. It's like some Matrix stuff, you know, the red pill and blue pill,
yeah.
as everyone loves.
Oh yeah, I gotta see that movie again. I haven't watched The Matrix in a long time.
Pretty good, man. Anything
It
with
is.
Keanu Reeves is pretty good.
Oh, dude, I'm excited for John Wick, but
Yeah.
that's a topic for another day, I guess.
We are on. Can we choose our emotions or do they happen to us?
Oh yeah.
That's actually a popular debate in psychology.
Okay.
Yeah, they
I'd
talk
like to
about.
know your thought about that.
Well, yeah. So they're saying essentially. Okay, so there was a time in in school where people were debating about a certain theory which says, do we have our emotions? Like, do they come about organically, or does our body react a certain way, and then we read it and go, okay, I'm feeling sad because, my heart's now fluttering. And that happens when I'm sad because I also feel my eyes starting to tear up, and I'm flustered in my head, where I always feel flustered when I'm going to cry. Or I'm mad because I have this feeling behind my eyes I always get when I'm mad.
Mm,
You go back to certain things. I'm sweating, and you interpret those, and you go, okay, well, this is how I'm feeling because this is what my body's telling me. Or now they're saying, do you choose it or do they happen to us? Now that's where it's confusing, because there are certain situations that are bound to cause a reaction, but there are some people that don't have that reaction.
mm.
So I don't know, man. It's always been a complicated debate. I think I explained it poorly, but I am very interested by the topic.
No, yeah, I think I think that emotions are kind of like they're kind of they're kind of it's kind of both. Sometimes you could just be sitting there, um, and then all of a sudden you feel like a state of maybe you ate like a steak or something like that, and it made you feel a certain way, right? And I know that sounds kind of funny, but like
I had
I'm
a
really
lot of
trying to
places I could have
like
taken that.
yeah, yeah. You ate some meat, right? And now you're feeling a little groggy, and because you're feeling a little groggy, now you're feeling a little, maybe a little down,
Yeah.
because of the other feelings that you have. But then maybe sometimes too you're just like, maybe you just had a fight with your loved one, and because of that, now your your uh your conscience, or yeah, like your conscience is kind of telling you, oh man, like I'm feeling a little guilty about that,
Yeah.
and then that kind of triggers that same emotion.
Yeah.
um I don't know if I made any sense by what I'm
No,
saying, but
actually, it reminded me of something I've heard before, where someone explained this to me, that their psychologist had told them about primary and secondary emotions, where the primary emotion is the one that arises because of a situation, your knee jerk response,
hmm
say, someone you love dies, you're going to be sad,
yeah.
but a secondary emotion is how you respond to that emotion. So after you've processed that, okay, I'm definitely sad right now, some people could go straight to vengeance, can go straight to anger, where they go, the world's fucked up. Sorry, I was trying not to
Yeah.
cuss in this stream, but the world's messed
Oh,
up, and
fucking cuss, I don't care.
okay, well, the
Yeah.
world's fucked up, and I don't want to be, in a world without this person, because if they can die from cancer, that's not fair. This is all bullshit. They respond to their emotion with another emotion,
Hmm.
and that would be your secondary emotion, is the more conscious level of emotion. The unconscious is the primary. That's the knee jerk. That's the one that happens because of a situation, where that you go, oh, this happened, you feel that way, and then you feel another way afterwards, which would be secondary. Over
Okay.
explanation, but I think you follow.
No, I follow.
You probably followed
Yeah,
like you go.
there's yeah, there's a lot of this is another question that can like go in so many different directions. I feel
It's a
like
good question.
just especially like in a philosophical sense, like there's all these like what, like theories, I guess you could say, that go along with that. Um, I can't really think of any right now, per se. That ethics
For,
for
for
professions
profession,
class.
yeah.
That was, I remember they had a couple kind of like emotional
Was that Burke?
theories.
Was that
Uh
I think Kevin Burke was a professor of that
I
class.
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Burke, pretty cool guy. Seemed
Oh
it,
yeah.
at least.
Oh yeah. Did I have? I forget. I don't think,
I
was
think they
he
had like
was
three teachers in that school for that class. So, oh
brown. Did he
no,
brown
I had
brown
shot. I
haired?
had shot. He did, but the guy I'm talking about was actually Man, what did Sean Trey Irving teach?
Sean Trey, I had him
Business
for
law.
business law. Yep.
Yeah, I still talk to him. He's a really cool guy, man. He's very decorated too. He's getting a lot of awards lately, I noticed.
Oh,
He's
really?
very charitable. Yeah, if you I hit him up once because I thought I might need legal help with something and I didn't know any lawyers, you
Hmm.
know. And I was just like, "Hey, man, just for some advice." He's like, "Sure." He said, "I'm not even gonna charge you anything, but if I need help with sometimes he donates his time to the Salvation Army. He's like, why don't you pop by and help me out, and that'll be your payback." And then other times he's just asked for letters of recommendation for like an award. He's one of those guys that will help you as long as you also help him help what he also helps. he's a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
he's a very out there guy, man. He's awesome, really cool. I like him.
Nice.
Sorry for getting on that tangent.
Shout out to Sean Trey Irving or
Yeah,
Sean
hey,
Trey
there we
Irving.
go. Sean
There you
Trey.
go. There you go. All
But
right.
yeah, that ethics for profession you were talking about.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
good.
know where I was going with that. I just kind of
I
it
get
kind of
sidetracked.
popped up in my head. So,
um,
is it wrong to visit a zoo, thereby financially supporting an establishment that isn't ideal for the animals?
I actually think about that a lot when I had zoos because dude, I love animals. I love seeing animals, but I love animals being free and in nature where they belong. You know,
Yes. Yes.
a lot of them are depressed.
A lot of them are depressed. At the same time,
Got a little
a lot of
indigestion. At the
a
same
lot
time,
of
sorry.
a lot of these animals, uh, they don't know anything else. Um,
That's all they've ever grown up with.
yeah. Can you put a can you put a lion that has been in a zoo in an enclosure his whole life? Can you put him in you know South Africa or wherever lions graze? Can you put him
Dude,
can you put him out there in the wild? And
that's a great
could
question.
you actually expect him or yeah, or her, whatever lion, whatever gender it is, uh, can you expect them to be able to function and actually hunt
That's
and find food and be able to interact with the other lions
well,
and
that's a
you
good
know
question because like you're pretty much asking if it's not ideal, how do we go about solving it? Because if we just let them back into the wild, they're probably dead.
yes,
Or if you take their kids away from them after they give birth and go, okay, we're going to free this one. Well, now they're living in the wild without a parent. Or
yeah,
you have to let them raise for a while near the parent. Then they have to go adapt to a situation and they're most likely dead for the same reason. So, how do you fix it now?
yeah, these dolphins,
That's strange.
they complain about the shows and stuff like that, which I could agree. I mean, there is some sort of uh, moral or ethical kind of there's something wrong with that for sure. But you put that dolphin back out into the ocean, and it hears it hears a noise or something like that, right? That might resemble like feeding time or something like that. Now it's like, oh, hey, food. Where's the food at? And it
Yeah.
doesn't, or it might see some tourist boat, and some dudes making some hand motion, and now it's jumping up in the air. Like, I mean, that's obviously not as big of a deal as, can it provide for itself?
Yeah.
Is it gonna
Well,
be able to? Is it gonna be able to hunt,
there are
or
some animals I have a lot of faith in being able to take care of themselves after they were to be freed. Like if a dolphin were to be freed, they are amongst the top 5 smartest animals from,
yeah,
of course, how do you define intelligence is a whole other question. But by how most humans define intelligence, dolphins are like a top 4. They have a language, they communicate with each other. Eventually, I feel like it's because they're pack animals, they probably just find a pack. But I wonder if that's possible. I don't know enough about the dolphin world. Like, would the other
yeah,
ones reject them? Would they still be able to use their brains to survive as a lone dolphin?
yeah. And I mean, obviously, that one or that group of dolphins or whatever that are in that zoo, they're they're a small portion that of that species, right? And I mean, eventually they're gonna die just like everything else. But like,
Yeah.
um,
A lot of conversations about death today. No.
yeah, like, but I guess like the idea of just like letting those animals free, uh, like it just like there's all these other factors like I said that go along with it, like the providing for itself, or um even just the fact that in reality, yeah, there are some zoos that are negligent. They don't take care of the animals, but like, there's a lot of zoos that really treat the animals well, and those animals have it made.
Yeah. Well,
So
because I always wonder.
are you really doing those animals good by saying, "Oh, yeah, you got this 5-star quality beef, right, being thrown at you every day. Now go back to into the jungle and you know eat these
Fend for yourself.
yeah, eat these malnutritioned zebras or something like that." and and fend for yourself. Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah, well,
they just
that's a fair point because I feel like there's some. I feel like that question depends on the animal because a sloth, I don't think he wants to go out of there. I think he's like, hey man, I've just been
yeah, the
chilling this
sloth
whole
is
time.
good. The sloth
But
is
like
like
a
feeling
wolf is like
safe.
you watch like the wolves in the zoo and they're like running from fence to fence. You're like, dude, these guys just want to be in a field at least.
Yes, yeah,
They're in an 8x10 cage.
yeah, yeah. um a naked mole rat or something like that, right? Because I know they got
Yeah,
those at Brookfield Zoo. That motherfucker's happy in that exhibit. Let me tell you. He doesn't
they're
have to worry about
protected.
hawks. Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah,
have to worry about hawks and coyotes, or any other animal like that. They have
I'd
it. They
say
have it
anything
made.
that's like prey, they probably want to stay in the zoo. Anything that's
Yes.
a predator is probably like, dude, I got a lot of energy and I'm not using it in here. But because
Right.
they should be free, we got to free the prey too, baby.
Right.
They got to eat.
Now, also too, which I've never been 100% clear on, is what do people mean by, like, we need to let them free? Do we send them back to Africa, or are they just saying, or what? Not just
Do
Africa.
we just let them out in
I'm using.
Chicago?
Do we just let them out in Chicago?
Just open the
You
cage.
know?
Hey man, you're free, dude. It's like
Yeah.
jail. They
Right.
pick up their shitty clothes and toothbrush they left at the front.
Yeah. You know?
They're like, why do you have a toothbrush? We
Yeah.
detained him. He was
Like
brushing his
like
teeth. That's why.
what is that? What does that do for the animals though? Like, especially the ones that need heat 24/7. Right now,
Yeah,
let's wait. Let's see where that animal's at. In February. Like,
yeah. Without the lights above them.
how's he gonna? How is that animal gonna be?
You know what, man? I figured
How
out.
how's it gonna fend for it? How is the condition of that animal gonna be at that time?
But let's get Noah back. Let's get him in his ark, and he'll help us out with bringing them back where they belong. That guy
Yes.
loves boating with animals, man. Let's let him do his
Oh
thing.
yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, you want to get on to this next one here?
Let's get on to this
Oh,
next one.
by the way, we got these questions from www.scienceofpeople.com/philosophical questions.
Right.
And then there's more. I'm not going to
This
read all
is
these letters.
this is not our own. These are not our own thoughts. 100%.
Yeah.
This is
So,
what is that? Our reference page.
yeah, we have thoughtful thoughts about other people's thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Nice.
this next question I actually want to analyze from two different perspectives that I read it
Okay.
whenever I say it. So there are two ways I read this.
Oh yeah.
In a fictional world, could you have a 5-sided square? So if you're talking about not just saying the words 5-sided square, which is a paradox, which is not possible. A paradox is something that's not possible in any universe. Something that if you believe in a god, he cannot do it because it's just not possible. By definition, a square is 4 sides. Saying it's a 5-sided square is impossible. And so if you're looking at it from that perspective, by a paradoxical perspective, no. But in another world, maybe they named a square or a pentagon a square, and they named a square a pentagon.
Mm,
And so a pentagon would be naturally
right.
four-sided in that world, you know? So yes, it is
By
possible.
like the definition would have to change
Exactly. They would have to change
of
what the
that
word
word.
means.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you're going about what words actually mean objectively, like if you just take the imagery it puts in our head and then you transplant that image into every world, it's impossible. But if you're talking about the words, it is possible.
Because squared, like for instance, like four squared is 16,
Yeah.
right? So therefore, like it's like that number times itself would be I see I'm trying to do the math now and I'm fucking failing. But it's like
it's a
4
huh.
4 8 12 16. So that's like it's four times.
Yes.
And that goes for any number that so I don't know. That would just work for four.
It's I think it's
8,
essentially saying it's treating it like a grid where you say the column is 5 tall and the row is 5 wide. So
yeah.
if you were to fill this area in, that's what a
That's it.
squared is.
Yes. But you need that's so the square though, you need that square which is like
Everything's got to be
the
even.
four yeah,
The four-sided
to get
thing to
the
fit it in,
four-sided
right?
thing to yeah, exactly.
That's
So
that's that
therefore,
is an interesting way of looking at it.
yeah. You actually
Yeah.
helped me a lot with that. Thank you.
No
Um
problem.
I was going somewhere with it. I knew I had the right idea. I just couldn't think about how to
I
say
was
it.
actually
So
following
there
your
you go.
image when you were painting at first. I'm like, yep, yep. I see what
Yep.
you're going for. No, but I mean
No,
that's
absolutely.
but it's true though. You can't have a five-sided square because literally based off the imagery that so just not ignoring the words, the theory itself, if that were transplanted to the mind of any other universe, it's paradoxical.
Mhm.
So I don't know. That's my answer to that.
Basically, you would need to be you would need to be on like ayahuasca or some sort of some sort of psychoactive drug to
Dude,
to
no,
have a five-sided
you're
square.
not seeing it, dude. You don't see it rippling in time and space. Okay,
Yeah.
dude, it's still four sides. I don't know what kind of angles you're seeing, but um the artists are, okay, so this is the next one. It says are actually. Are
Yes.
artists morally obligated to give trigger warnings if their art could mentally or physically negatively impact someone? Essentially parental advisories or at an art show saying, hey man, this might shock and offend. Are they
Well,
morally obligated?
I don't. I think most artists aren't trying to like necessarily. Yeah, most artists aren't necessarily trying to offend you. Like what they might be putting out there, it might be offensive, but they're not necessarily trying to like offend you, like specifically.
Yeah.
So if art is to a person's own interpretation, which is kind of generally what when you look at a painting, you might get something out of it that the person next to you doesn't.
Yeah.
So if looking at it in in that sense, if it's your own interpretation, then like if you interpret it as offensive, like you need to handle those emotions, I guess yourself. Like
Yeah.
it's not really like up to somebody else to be like, oh, everything's gonna be all right. Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, it's really like basically don't be sensitive, I guess, when you're looking at art or
It's
or
it's kind of
whether
how
any art really. music,
I agree.
paintings.
And anything out there. I mean, literally, the whole point of art is to make people think. And I also think, I mean, going by morally obligated, like, whenever I hear morally obligated, that means to me, if somebody were to not do this, if somebody did not warn this art could trigger you, but they knew it could, are they going to be punished in the afterlife?
Yeah.
So no. But are they like, should they, to be nice, warn? It's up to them. I mean, that's part of your freedom as an artist. If I want to, so my thing is, I mean, I'm a musician, as you know, and as we've established
Yeah.
on this even. And if I if I have an album that has bad words in it, I just put the warning on there. You know, I don't want people to be sitting there and going, oh yeah, it's like, okay, I have other songs you'll like, maybe,
Yeah. Well,
but
I
this
think
one's
by
not gonna be your cup of tea if you don't like this.
law though now, right? Well, it's been this way what since the
By law,
80s.
you have to put
You
it up.
have to now.
FCC. Yeah.
So
But I even
in that,
understand if
yeah,
by societal standards you are required as a musician. Now, if you're an artist that's like, you know, oh, I'm gonna have a bunch of naked women with their mouths on each other's privates, and then I'm gonna let everyone into the show. You should probably say you have to be at least 18. Like, you can't just
yeah,
go,
right,
everything's fine. Come on in. Ah, it's a cute little 7-year-old you got there. Come on in.
right, yeah. Like that's different.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a little more. Yeah, that's a little more like on the adult side. So you have to. You
yeah.
would
It's
definitely have to.
situational. It's situational.
Yeah,
Play it with good judgment. Now, if it's just something where you're going to say something that not everyone's going to agree with, I don't think you have any obligation. I think it's up to you if you want to go, hey, you might want to not join this if you don't like people who say something about this, because I'm going to talk about this. And you might not like everything I have to say about it. But then it just kind of ruins the show for me. So
yeah,
it's up to you, man. You're the artist.
right. Now, kind of going back to the like having to say that you have profanity or something like that in your work. Uh,
I wish that was out.
I,
I
I
wish that
I
they
would
just
say
added that.
that yeah, okay, so about like the morally obligated side to that, sure, like if the artist like if they want to, then yeah, that's not a problem. But now we're in that side where now it's you have to. So now
Yeah.
isn't that in a way censorship?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I've always kind of felt negative about the FCC myself, because I don't know. I don't get some of the moves they do. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the things that we consider dirty, it's just a random, I don't know. It just feels like a way of keeping people down somehow. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know how to explain it, but there's something that feels wrong about saying you cannot do this, or you have to warn about this, when it's something that really is it's up to the ear of the listener.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Just because they feel a certain way about something doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, everybody else feels that same way.
Yeah.
Like just because you're offended by, the word fuck or 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 ass or something like that, right? Just because
Are
you feel a
people
certain
fucking
way about
ass?
it.
You
Yes,
know?
exactly. Just because you feel a certain way about that, someone else might find that to be comical,
Yeah.
or
Be an adult, man.
some people just don't care. You know,
Yeah.
that's I guess that goes back to just don't be fucking sensitive.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think
But that's not the world we live in, right? That's the idea of that's the idea of a perfect world, right? And it just doesn't exist.
yeah,
So we have to play
and
by
never
the rules.
shall. Yep.
Yep.
So now here we are
It's
discussing it.
now we got two old blokes just sitting here complaining about reality.
Yeah. Now that life gets real in our late 20s, and then everyone in their
Yeah,
30s is looking at us like, you don't even fucking know, dude.
yeah,
And then
you
we're sitting there
haven't
like,
even
hey,
started your life yet.
hey, man, I might not know, but I can assume.
Yeah.
uh,
Oh man.
so, last question here: is it necessary to preserve history?
Yes.
Necessary. It is.
Yes. I think
I,
so.
I think it's
Because
a good thing to do.
history history um although it does it does repeat itself. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Um it's it's good to preserve those things because whether it's good or bad, it gives us something to look at and either strive for or
Learn from.
learn from,
Yes.
and
Okay.
be a little more like conscientious about certain things, or like look at things in a in a certain way to try to correct. Like I guess I'll use an example, right? Like World War II, right? With the Nazis and just war in general, right? Like we have museums and whatnot that preserve history, that show us what happened, and we can look at it and say, "Oh wow, yeah, like we definitely don't want that to happen again." And
Yeah.
there are some people that might look at it in a different perspective, but
And they get
uh,
inspiration.
and that's where history repeats itself. But
Yeah.
uh,
History should be
overall,
preserved so good history repeats itself and bad history doesn't.
right?
So I agree.
But me and Sachin were in the Indianapolis. Uh, what is it? It's like their Veterans Museum out there, and they had this. Uh, it was like a bronze head of Adolf Hitler, and behind it was like a flag, a Nazi flag. This was in their war museum, and I was like reading up on why they had it and stuff like that, and so I believe they found it in Italy. So this was when Hitler was kind of like he was going around to like the different countries and he was stealing art. He was stealing different artwork and stuff from all these countries, and he was basically like he was just stashing them. He was hoarding all of this artwork, and what he was going to do with it, who knows? Maybe he was going to just eventually, you know, damage it all and then like erase it. But anyways, so these Italian soldiers, or not, some soldiers, I don't know who exactly what country it was, but it was in Italy, but so they stormed this like bunker, you could say, and that's when they found a lot of that artwork, and they also found this bronze head of Hitler. And during like the gunfire when they stormed this place, there was a bullet that actually hit like the head of it, and that's it's
Really?
it's in it's in that museum.
Huh.
So just talking about preserving history, there you go.
Yeah.
Right there in Indianapolis. You know, these guys stormed some bunker in Italy, and now it's in Indianapolis, and you can see it. And it's got like
Wow.
you could see the bullet hole and everything. And then obviously the flag that was also there too. And they just kind of, I guess they kind of have it as a piece, as a one piece.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's cool.
Yeah. You know, actually, when they talk about is it necessary to preserve history, I think I agree with your point 100%. I was actually thinking of one thing though, like outside of the question, but kind of following the question. How much of history do you think is factual that we're taught?
Oh yeah,
Because I mean,
like
there's a popular
propaganda.
expression. Oh, yeah, but there's also a popular expression that war is not about who's left, or it's not about who's right, but who's left. So it's not who's right; it's just who survives after. And
Mm,
so I actually had in one song I asked a question I've heard many people ask, which is literally who's the one who writes history, who the winner writes history. So, and no matter what, if you're the winner, you're the good guy to you. There's no way that you're going to be like, dude, we were pieces of shit.
Yeah.
We yeah, we started just poking the bear, they fought back, and we just killed the whole lot of them. You know, like
Yeah.
it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna
No,
be like,
that's
oh, they did this. They would tear people's heads off. They were animals. They didn't give a shit about morality. They didn't give a shit about other people. They were you should see what they were doing to their own people. Oh, talk about bad. No
yeah.
matter what, it's
Oh
always
yeah,
gonna go
true.
down to that.
It's to the perspective of the people that are telling it,
Yeah.
that are telling the history, for sure. I was talking to somebody about that. I believe it was about like basically it was about World War II. Like that the history of it. It's actually it's it's I guess proven that like other countries definitely teach it differently than you would in like here. Like people have different outlooks of things, different perspectives.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, you think about it, every single situation, like whenever you hear someone tell you a story, and then you hear someone else tell a story about that same night, there's so many different perspectives out there. It's hard to know what actually happened. And shit, dude, even if there are times where I think I'm being 100% factual about something that happened, right? But who's to know what's went wrong in the heuristics in my brain, you know? Well, like what makes me think of what I think of. Maybe I took a misstep thinking I took the right step, and then I go, yeah, so this is what happened. I remember you said this, when in reality maybe you just thought that and you got it twisted. I mean,
yeah,
stuff like that happens all the time too, even in just daily conversation and events with individual people, let alone a whole society.
hmm,
One person witnessing a huge event like 9/11, you're going to hear thousands of events or versions of that event. People watching and seeing all the debris fall, people just watching on TV and different sort of scenarios, what they thought of it. Going back to primary and secondary emotions, it's not about the facts, it's about how did I feel afterwards, etc.
yeah, hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like
Interesting.
going back to like you said, like well, like even just in war, right? Like so, we'll just say the United States in Germany, right? They bombed whatever, like let's just say they bombed some city in Germany, and to us, yeah, like that was necessary or whatever. But maybe to that person that had a home in that bombed area, right? To them, they're like, oh wow, like why the hell did they do that to me?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to them, or for us, what was necessary and what needed to happen. For them, it was like, oh man, why did that have to happen? Why did you just take this from me?
Yeah, people, and honestly, it's innocent bystanders, because a lot of the time with stuff like bombings and war, it's always people in power doing stupid things to other people in power, and then the people in power retaliating. But instead of killing the people in power, they go, I'm about to kill 300 of your citizens over there. And the citizens are just like, dude, what the fuck did I do? I'm just tending to my shit over here.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, like that's why the world is kind of strange with power dynamics, man. They've always thrown me off.
yeah, yeah. Because, like you said, just for whatever side it is that's talking about it is like that's their view, and it's not necessarily the same view as the other guy. So
Yeah, no,
maybe
it
uh
most
maybe I
likely
guess the
isn't.
the moral of the story is is with an open mind,
Yeah,
and to not just not just accept, like, I guess what's being thrown at you.
yeah. Always be curious and
Yes,
flexible.
always be curious.
I actually think there's a lot of people that even I talk to. You just see people with to have their opinions and get really worked up about them and let it dictate everything, and you're like, dude, give it a second. Like give it just think about it again, you know. Like
Yeah.
if you're that worked up about it, you need to consider alternates and why. Hey, if someone else is believing this to be true, why would they believe that? Not it's not about is it true. Why would they believe that? What would they tell themselves? Now don't just say,
Hmm.
they're fucking stupid. I don't know what they tell themselves. Just go try to consider it, be considerate. I think people don't sympathize, empathize, and actually try to genuinely understand, you know? Like I want
Right.
to know where you're coming from. I want to figure out, am I wrong or are you wrong? Because I feel like one of us is wrong right now. And maybe I'm wrong.
Hmm.
Maybe we're both right. No.
Yeah. Maybe we're both wrong.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe we're
Yeah.
both full of shit and don't know a thing.
Maybe. Yeah. Exactly. And by communicating with each other, you could figure that out. Like, wow, wait a minute, we're both fucking delusional. Like, and then maybe you read a book together, or you start talking to other people. You bring other people into it, and then you see like, oh wow, yeah,
Oh, look.
yeah,
People
look at
are
this is another way
honestly,
to look at it.
dude, people are way more alike than they think. Like, there's so
Oh
many
yeah.
times where what pisses me off about someone, when I actually sit down and think about it, I know that that's what pisses them off about me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you get annoyed seeing things that you also do. I don't know, man. It's confusing how just knee jerk reactions work, and I don't know if it's things about how people are raised or just inherent human emotion.
Yeah. Yeah. It's deep, man. It's deep. But
Life's
yeah,
unique,
man,
bro.
it's very
Thoughtful
unique.
thoughts.
Everybody has their own everybody has their own way of going about things in life. That's what's so crazy about it. Like, just even just regionally, right? Like, just in the United States, man. Like, over here in the Midwest, we have we have certain things that we say. Certain we call things certain things like pop or soda, right? Like that something just that simple, right? Like out
Yeah.
here, what I believe the terminology we use is pop, but I could be wrong.
Now we
I
say
think so.
pop to where it's literally my mom says soda, and
Yeah,
every time I've she said it around other people, they go, "You call it soda?" And I'm just
yeah,
like, "Who cares?" She also calls it toilet tissue.
right. Yeah, yeah.
You think she's blowing? You think she's just blowing her shit into it? No, she's using it like normal toilet paper, man. She just calls it differently.
Or like bathroom, right? Like over here we say bathroom or restroom, and then you
Mhm.
go down south and they might call it a bathhouse.
Yeah, yeah.
Or,
You
yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
don't like whenever people call public bathrooms though, because if I can't take a fucking bath in one, it's not a bathroom. There's no bath in
Yes, exactly. Hmm. See, there you go, man. They need to change. They need
This
to they need to
bullshit.
figure it out, man.
I actually don't know why they call it the restroom either, because I think people would look at you weird if you slept in it.
True.
So I call it
True.
the defecation station or the urination station, depending on which one I'm doing.
Yes. Yes. Or if you're one of them weirdos, the ejaculation station. But that that's up to you.
Or if you do all three, man, you know,
If you
just
do
keep adding.
yeah, man.
Just call it the Asian station and leave me alone.
Well, all right, man. Do you have anything else to add to any of this, Kyle?
Nah, all I want to say is, thank you guys for joining in on Thinkful Things with me and Mark. Uh,
Yes.
it's it's we're bringing it back. It's it's an old series I used to do with my cousin, and happy to be part of it.
Yes, I'm glad we finally did one, man. And
Yeah, same here.
hopefully, hopefully people that are watching, hopefully you are intrigued to look up things on your own and get your own thoughts and your own ideas about things. And hopefully you will go out with your buddies and converse and develop some kind of dialogue and get things going.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yes.
I didn't realize people were commenting this whole time. I had the private chat on.
Yeah, I was actually about to bring that up.
Yeah.
So thank you, like Andrew and
Thank
Gotti.
you, and
Thank you very
Gotti,
much. Thank you, Brian
Brian.
C. I don't know who you are, but you're a cool guy.
Hey, what's up, Brian
Uh,
C?
Sweats, the homie John. Thank you very much
Sweats,
for
love
commenting.
you, bro.
Hell
John,
yeah,
is that John the one?
yeah, yeah.
Nice,
Rocket League,
John. Frank Zappa would not have stood for this. You are correct. Frank
I believe so.
Zappa. I said it weird. If you could play WAP on pop radio, I say get over it. I see what he's referring to. And Gotti,
Yeah,
I can't stand that asshole Kyle either. That's why I'm Conscience the Medic right now. That guy is gone right now, you know?
yeah. Kyle is no more.
Oh,
um,
and John brought up another free point, fair point. I mean, he says, weren't pandas going extinct because they won't breed in captivity? Huh.
oh, that's true. Yeah. No, but
I wish we would have been paying attention.
I think to go to that, they have trouble even out in the wild breeding because that
Yeah,
was a
lately.
thing. Like they something with the
Temperature, I believe.
so that, and I think they're because their habitats, they're
Yes,
not
the
like
polar
they're
ice
not
caps are melting.
well the pandas are
Don't they live in there? Or do
like
they live in dens?
they're like in dense. They're like those are like the Asian bears.
Oh, you're right. Wow, I'm
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah, yeah. No, you're good, man. I
I
was
forget
actually
easy
when you
facts.
said it, I was like, wait a minute, pandas. Oh no, you were thinking of polar
I
bears,
was
but no,
thinking of
yeah,
polar
pandas.
bears. The peas
Yeah,
confuse
yeah.
me, man.
No, the pandas. Yeah, there was definitely. I remember reading something about that they have like they've got issues because like you said, I'm pretty sure like weather and their habitats and um, let's just give a shout out to the pandas. Comment a big fat P for the pandas.
Cutest things on the endangered list.
Yes, exactly. And also probably the most vicious.
Yes.
You just don't hear
They
about them.
no, no. Because hey man, when they stick to eating their bamboo, we're like, oh, look at this guy, you know?
Yeah. But they can tear apart some bamboo like it's
I
going
don't
out of
wanna
style.
I wouldn't fight one. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Kyle,
All right.
always good talking with you, man.
Yeah.
We definitely got to do another one with Zio.
Yeah.
Um, but we will definitely talk about that some more later. Thank you for everyone that tuned in.
Thank you.
Please like, share, and subscribe if you
We
haven't.
love you.
And we will be back and check out other styles of video that we have on Volt Media. Whether it's the oh yes, and Save the Wave loves you.
It's backwards, but you get the
Always
gist.
remember that. I think they saw it fine.
Oh,
I think
good.
it was normal. So yeah,
Okay, good. On my view, it showed it backwards. So
yeah, yeah, it's flipped. So
nice.
you have the camera on right.
I put it on mirror image so I wouldn't. If you ever notice, like if you don't put mirror image
Oh,
on, you look weird to yourself. All right.
oh
Anyway, I'm gonna
yeah.
shut up
Well,
so we can actually
I
say
think I
bye.
look I think I look weird either way, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I've accepted it.
you do. I wasn't gonna say anything. No.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's all good. But yeah, so like I said, thank you for tuning in, and we will definitely be back for another one. So pay attention because I'm terrible at social media,
Same.
and I'll,
Can't do
I'll
it.
I'll I'll try to inform you guys. But anyways, that's it. So
Thank you for watching.
we'll see you next time.
Is it done?